A young man went out with friends to a cafe and disappeared into thin air. 3 weeks later, he was found dead in a river. His family doesn't believe it was suicide, so the people with extraordinary abilities take on the case. You're watching Psychic Investigations, a project of incredible true stories from real life. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate astonishing mystical phenomena and complex, high-profile criminal cases. A small Ukrainian town. Early March. A local fisherman was boating along the riverbank when he spotted the body of a young man.
The drowned man turned out to be 23-year-old local resident Yaroslav Marchenko. He had gone missing on February 15th, 3 weeks before he was found.
Yaroslav was the only son in his family. His parents, who had placed all their hopes in him, turned the entire town upside down in their search.
Soldiers from the local base went door to door with Yaroslav's photo. They asked everyone if they'd seen this young man.
The entire town was plastered with Yaroslav's photos, along with my phone number. My husband and I received calls every evening. Horrible calls. Your son's been found in a dumpster with his head chopped off. It was unbearable. When those calls came, we didn't know what to do.
Yaroslav was found on March 6th.
There were no signs of violent death. Due to water in his lungs, we concluded that he deliberately took his own life.
But the death certificate issued to Yaroslav's parents stated he died on March 2nd. So the question is, where had he been all that time?
According to the police, Yaroslav had been in the water for 3 weeks before his body was finally found.
After such a long time in the water, the body should have undergone significant changes, like swelling and decomposition. But eyewitnesses say it was in good condition.
To uncover the truth about her son's death, Tatiana contacted our project.
I don't know where else to go. The police and the prosecutor's office refuse to delve into the case. Please help.
Ukrainian psychic Serhii Kolesnichenko and American medium Kristi responded to Tatiana's plea.
The last image in his mind before death was of a girl with an icy heart. She knows everything about what happened to him.
He's showing me a small suitcase or briefcase, holding it like this. He's trying to say that this object is somehow connected to his death.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm so glad you came. I can't stop thinking about what happened to my son. Please help me find out.
Your son never lived here.
No, he didn't live here.
The family moved into this apartment after Yaroslav's death. His father, a military officer, had spent years on a waiting list for housing and finally received it. Before that, the family lived at a military base 10 kilometers away.
Please hold the cards. Your energy will fill them with information. I see a dark room lit by candles. Your son seems to be in the room with the candles, but then he disappears from it.
Yes. It happened at our old apartment. They were replacing electricity meters one day, so it was dark at home.
Usually, Yaroslav spent his evenings at home, working on the computer and reading. But on the day he disappeared, around 5 p.m., the power went out in the high-rise where he lived with his parents.
I came home from work at 5:30 and found that he had fried me a chicken leg, made a salad, sliced some bread, and brewed tea. He'd set it all on the table and lit candles.
If the power hadn't gone out that ill-fated Friday, Yaroslav likely would have stayed home and remained alive. But instead, he decided not to stay home in the dark and called his friend. Together, they went to the local cafe. Tatiana went to bed early. And when she woke up, she realized something terrible had happened.
I got up in the morning and saw he hadn't been at home. I started calling him, but he wouldn't answer. I knew something was wrong.
To this day, Tatiana blames herself for her son's death.
And my husband blames me for not watching over him. He says if he'd been home, this wouldn't have happened.
On the day Yaroslav disappeared, his father wasn't home. He was visiting their older daughter.
She had just given birth. The baby was 1 year old. I said, "Go. Olesya really needs help."
Tatiana couldn't go as she wasn't allowed time off work. Her husband, a retired military officer, had free time. After Yaroslav's death, he stayed to live with his daughter and now visits Tatiana only occasionally.
He says I could have stopped him from going out that night.
Tatiana is all alone now. At night, she looks through the photos and cries, staring at her son, so young and handsome.
I can't sleep. I think about it constantly.
He loved life so much. He couldn't have just left it.
I wait for him every day. People say time heals, but no, it doesn't. I just want to know how my son died.
I sense that shortly before his death, your son suffered some kind of injury to this side of his neck.
Something was torn off.
His silver chain was ripped off. He went to the seaside and some thugs attacked him. They took away his phone and chain. There was a mark left.
Could something similar have happened again? Witnesses say the young man left the cafe alone in the middle of the night.
He had his phone and money on him, which suggests he wasn't the victim of a crime.
There's deception involved in this story. I sense a confined space. It's dark and cold. I have goosebumps. It feels like people were involved in his death.
You searched for him for a long time, from the moment he disappeared until the funeral, right?
21 days. No one could tell me where he was. The whole town was covered with his portraits. My mobile number was on every flyer.
There were a couple of strange calls. From a young man. He's thin, unremarkable, and small. His mind was a mess. Like he was obsessed with something.
It seems the psychic is sensing the energy of the man who contacted Tatiana a week after Yaroslav disappeared.
I was at work when a young man called and said, "If you want your son to stay alive, you have 10 minutes to meet me." I asked, "Is my son alive?" He said, "Yes, but you have to pay."
Tatiana was afraid to meet a dangerous criminal alone. Yaroslav's father couldn't be reached, so she rushed to the location with 2 of her colleagues. But the meeting never happened.
We got out of the taxi. While I was paying, my colleague dialed his number. Then a car pulled up. 2 men jumped out of it, grabbed him, and shoved him into the car. After that, we couldn't reach him again.
Yaroslav's mother couldn't gather the money in the 10 to 15 minutes the criminal gave her. She called the police and reported the call. Plainclothes officers arrived at the meeting point and detained the blackmailer, but later they had to release him.
Do you suspect that this was the man connected to your son's death?
Of course.
It would have been easier to read this young man's energy. That place is important. Krista, would you mind going there?
I don't. But it's already dark, we better go in the morning.
The next morning, the psychics met Tetiana at the location where she was supposed to meet her blackmailer. There's a market nearby, and at this hour, it's quite busy.
He arrived by bus. There is the bus stop. He was very nervous, standing and looking in that direction.
That young man was standing here. We arrived from this side. We didn't reach him. He was quickly shoved into the car and taken away.
That was an undercover police operation.
It's strange that the man insisted on a meeting just 10 minutes after the call. It was foolish to expect the woman to have that kind of money on her. It was impossible to gather it so quickly. The man testified that he learned about the missing young man from the flyers. He claimed he wanted to exploit Tetiana's desperation. He was going to grab the money and run. He didn't actually know where Yaroslav was.
A few hours after being released, the man called Tetiana again.
He said, "You turn me into the cops, you'll never see your son again."
I don't think he ever saw your son. He's never been involved in kidnapping.
The man who demanded ransom from Yaroslav's parents was registered at a psychiatric hospital and had no connection to Yaroslav's disappearance.
Can we go to the last place your son was seen?
Yes.
On Friday, February 15th, Yaroslav was last seen alive at the cafe Sonechko, where he went with a friend.
I sense there were many intoxicated people here, but your son came here sober around 9 p.m.
There were some men, athletic types, not small, physically trained. I wouldn't say they were police officers, more like soldiers.
Could they be Afghan war veterans?
Possibly, yes.
That evening, the cafe was hosting a celebration for former soldiers who had fought in Afghanistan. Rumors say there was a fight.
Your son didn't participate. He was just watching from the sidelines.
I've never seen him in a fight. Never even heard of such a thing. Just because he did sports and could do flips forward and backward doesn't mean he'd go around punching people.
Yaroslav was truly passionate about sports. He learned acrobatic tricks, ran several kilometers daily, trained on pull-up bars, and often swam in the river, especially in summer. The same river where he was later found dead. But how did he end up there? And what happened to him on the night he disappeared?
At this cafe, they met a girl and spent some time talking to her.
That night, Yulia, who both boys knew well, was also at the cafe.
Then Volodymyr and Yulia left. I know that girl. She confirmed that she left with Volodymyr.
Volodymyr and Yulia left. The cafe around midnight. Yaroslav stayed behind.
He felt very lonely here. He was used to coming here with his girlfriend.
For the past year, Yaroslav had been dating a girl named Yana. They went to the same school, but a month before his death, they broke up.
Yana was 2 years younger than Yaroslav. After finishing school, she left Ukraine, though not alone, but with an older man. Eventually, her partner began mistreating her. Yana returned and reconnected with Yaroslav. At that time, he had a stable job as a manager at an electronics supermarket and didn't hesitate to spend money on gifts.
What can you say about someone in love? He doesn't walk, but floats. That's probably how it was for him.
I saw that he loved her and was very attached to her. She looked like a little doll.
But a month before the tragedy, the couple suddenly broke up. Yana left Yaroslav.
Your son loved that girl. He spoiled her by giving her gifts and trying to make her happy.
She loved gifts. All she wanted was gifts, gifts, and more gifts. She took classes in pedicures, manicures, and nail extensions. Yaroslav paid for those classes, but then she refused to work in that sphere. She wasn't that kind of girl. All she cared about was entertainment.
Around that time, his financial situation worsened. He was very anxious about money.
He either lost his job or something happened that made things financially difficult.
Yana said he should work for himself, start his own business.
3 months before his death, Yaroslav quit his job at the electronics store, where he'd worked for 3 years. He wanted to start his own business of supplying goods from garment factories to the local market. But while building connections with suppliers and buyers, he spent all his savings.
It didn't work out, and after that, there was nothing left to take from him.
You could see he was very upset. It wasn't just a blow. It affected his soul and his heart.
He was tormented by thoughts of a debt. He owed someone money, lost it playing cards.
So, in addition to the heartbreak, Yaroslav was also burdened by job loss and debt. Could he really have taken his own life?
But that's not all. The girl didn't just leave. She'd met someone else.
She left with a man who had already served time in prison.
As soon as her relationship with Yaroslav fell apart, her former lover reappeared. Could there have been a conflict between Yaroslav and the man over Yana?
Where was Yana when he disappeared?
She had left. After Yaroslav died, his friend Evgen came and said he had borrowed $200 from him to send Yana to her lover. So I repaid him the money.
Your son is holding something by the handle. It's either a suitcase or a case.
When Yaroslav disappeared, I went into his room and saw his laptop was gone. He never parted with it. He practically slept with it.
So perhaps the case the psychic saw was actually his laptop bag?
He had a laptop bag. He never took it off his shoulder.
Did Yaroslav Marchenko have any valuables on him the day he disappeared? According to his mother, he earned well, and the locals knew that could someone have targeted him for his laptop, for example?
He bought the laptop on credit. He didn't earn much. Then he gave it to his familiar girl. The next day or the day after, they brought us the laptop and said, he gave it to us to use.
But the musician from the cafe is certain that Yaroslav had the bag with him the night he disappeared.
He left here sometime after midnight. And he had the laptop bag with him. I clearly remember it, as not many people carry something like that at night.
I don't see him leaving it behind. He was holding that case in his hand.
He left here intoxicated. He was trying to numb the pain of a broken heart with alcohol. He walked off in that direction.
During the examination of Yaroslav Marchenko's body, alcohol was found in his blood.
His blood alcohol level was 2.5 per mila. It's roughly equivalent to about 450 or 500 grams of vodka. That's a lot.
Is there a turnoff or path leading down to the river? On the way from there to the building?
Yes. On the way to the building where his family lived, there is a turnoff to the river. But if Yaroslav had left the cafe intending to drown himself, he likely would have gone the opposite direction, where the river is twice as close and right next to the cafe.
We need to check the river. I brought some sage with me. It will help retrieve information. When Yaroslav left the cafe, he ran into a few people he knew. Their conversation turned into a conflict.
During the interrogations, none of the people interviewed admitted to seeing Yaroslav after he left the cafe.
I hear male voices.
He met the people you're talking about further up the street on his way home. I think the conversation was about the case or the laptop. There wasn't a fight, though. He wasn't punched. Someone tried to restrain him. The guy was physically strong, probably a bit older. Likely trained in wrestling or something similar. He had the skills to subdue him.
But then, how did the laptop end up with the girl who later brought it to the police?
I sense a connection to this place. She knows everything that happened here. A sister. She's someone's sister.
The police said the laptop was found with Yana's sister.
Yana's sister insists that Yaroslav gave her the laptop a few days before he disappeared. But the musician from the cafe says that on February 15th, Yaroslav had the laptop bag with him. Later, the police returned the laptop to Yaroslav's parents.
If the witnesses are not wrong, the laptop bag ended up with the girl on the very day Yaroslav disappeared.
Did he fall accidentally? Or was he pushed?
At the moment he entered the water, he was still breathing but unconscious. When the carotid artery is compressed, a person loses consciousness. Once he went limp and collapsed, his breathing was barely detectable. He was simply thrown into the water. Because they panicked, I would say your son was murdered.
I never doubted it. Do you believe it happened on February 15th?
He wasn't held anywhere. Whatever happened, it happened that very day, the day he disappeared.
Considering that the riverbanks were frozen at the time of Yaroslav's disappearance, we can conclude that the body remained in the water in a frozen state. That's why it didn't decompose and looked as if it had only recently entered the river when it was found.
I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much.
A sinister spirit accurately predicted the precise date of a woman's death. Why is death after a mother of 3? The psychics are going to solve the mystery of an old murder. Oksana Sukomlinova from Ukraine approached the psychics, asking for help. She's sure she knows the exact date of her death. A mysterious woman in black who keeps coming to Oksana's dreams told her it.
I can't live with it. The woman in black keeps telling me that I'll die on the 1st of November. And on top of that, she adds that it will happen at 4:30 in the afternoon.
The woman is on the verge. It's not the first time that the sinister woman in black is foretelling death in Oksana's family. She's already taken away more than 10 of her relatives.
She brings death. First, my uncle Kolya hung himself, and then Aunt Stasia jumped into the well. After that, Aunt Shura died at the dinner table, and my mother was after her. Our father simply burned in bed. There was a fire. My brother and his wife died in a car crash. I'm worried about my life because I have 3 children.
Zhana Shulikova and Olena Kurilova, 2 of the most powerful psychics in the project, agreed to help Oksana. Each of them immediately set out to meet her.
I had a vision of a beautiful young woman, but her body looked like it was pierced with some kind of spears or metal rods. And he kept asking me, release me, make me free. She's locked in some cramped space, like she's bricked up in a wall.
I'd like to take my cards and look. The cards are showing something strange. Don't touch it. You will regret.
Coincidence or not, but once the psychic pronounced these words, a severe wind blew. The cloudless sky turned black and hail started. This even appeared in the news.
A heavy downpour with strong winds and hail. The roads turned into rivers. Cars were literally floating along the streets. Apart from the rain, hail crashed on people's heads.
We can't go anywhere in such strong rain.
Somebody doesn't want us to take up the investigation.
While Olena Kurilova was being attacked by the storm, Zhana Shulikova, who was going there separately, was stopped by another obstacle. Something happened to the engine of the car in which she was.
It probably overheated. We need to wait for about half an hour for it to cool down, and then we can go.
Wait a minute. I'll be right back.
The clairvoyant went off somewhere without saying a word. Zhana explained her unusual behavior later on.
There was a woman's spirit standing there. She was angry and terrible, and her throat was all black. I realized somebody had murdered her, so I told her, "Show me who did it, and I'll help you." But she answered, "I'll find the one who murdered me myself, and I'll revenge myself. If you keep bothering me, you'll be next." I lit a candle, but it can't hold her back. We must leave. Let's go.
Meanwhile, Oksana and her daughters are waiting for the psychics in the street. When the neighbors saw the crew, they also joined.
Hello?
Hello. These are my children. Something weird has been going on. My breathing stops at night.
What I see in my cards now is that the mother will be taken away first. What scares me most is that I see the child.
Does it mean we can die before we create families and have children? I don't want it to be true.
I think we should go inside.
Once I entered the apartment, my legs went numb. It was a sign that I had to stop right there. But who gave the sign and what were their intentions?
Howl, something's howling here. What could it be? Oh, what is this? Died. You'll die too, and your children will die. I'll show you my revenge.
It's coming from the threshold.
After Olena entered, her legs were giving way constantly. That is, she couldn't step over the threshold.
Give me a knife.
And what is this? We need to get it out. Oh, it's so gross.
It was meat, like it was plucked out of a bird. It was so shocking.
100% it's a dead bird. And the earth is from a grave.
I feel pressure over here.
I can't understand who did it. Who did we hurt? How is it even possible to be so cruel?
It's a death spell. And it's not all. There were other things too.
There was a mummified bat. It emerged from nowhere.
Anything can be a death charm if you impose a negative magic program on it that would cause death, illnesses, impecuniosity, scandals, divorce, and other things. But if you use a dead creature for it, no matter if it's an animal, a bird, or an insect, then it's definitely a death charm.
It was an awful sight. That bat, a dried bat. I called a neighbor, and when she came, she suggested that I should burn it.
She did it right with the bat, and we had to destroy the next charm and understand who had been planting all those things on her apartment.
Who hates you?
I can only suspect one person.
Oh, I don't like it. The woman warned that it was revenge for ruining her family. Did you convince her husband to leave her?
I didn't convince him to leave her. He's Diana's father. I never even claimed he was mine.
It turned out that the father of Oksana's younger daughter is a married man named Alexander. She met him at work at the local administration. The woman was a secretary there, and the man was its legal advisor.
We started to communicate, and then one evening, he phoned me and said, "How do you like the idea of me waking up at yours tomorrow morning?" I didn't get it, but he still arrived.
Oksana knew Alexander had a wife and children, but she anyway allowed him to stay for the night, and then again and again. As a result, she got pregnant.
It was done deliberately. We were going to start living together. He filed for a divorce, and we planned everything carefully, but then he broke up with me and left.
Alexander didn't explain anything and simply broke up with the pregnant Oksana. She suspects the sudden change couldn't have happened without the magic influence of this family.
He told me that his mother and wife had put a spell to make him come back to the family.
Returning your husband to the family might be noble, but the mechanism of the spell is such that the mistress ends up cursed. I won't be surprised if the spirit that Oksana has been seeing in her dreams is the woman who is bound to her home with the charm made with the earth from the grave.
The only person I could think of is Irina. She always blamed me for ruining her family.
Could you kindly take us to where that woman lives?
After Jana Shulakova has neutralized the charm, everybody goes to the place where the father of Oksana's younger daughter lives.
We would like to talk to you, please.
Soon afterward, Oksana's lover, Alexander, appears in the door.
There are a bunch of deaths there.
In this family,
I know.
God forbid if your wife or somebody else from your family, like your mother-in-law or I don't know who else, has something to do with it.
Both my mother and Irina swear they didn't go anywhere or didn't do anything.
But you told me yourself that they went to see a sorceress. Didn't you tell me this?
We'd like to talk to Irina.
Alexander is taking a huge risk, as it's impossible to tell the consequences of the meeting of his wife and his mistress.
She knew that we were married, but she still interfered in our life.
I'm aware of it.
She almost ruined our life, and now she dares to come here. I never wished anything bad to anybody, and I never hurt anyone in my life.
Then why did Uncle Alexander say that you'd been at a sorceress?
I never saw anybody.
Could it be your mother?
We didn't see her for black magic.
Then why did you go to see her?
To ask her to return the husband to his family.
And how can a sorceress return a husband to his family? You never cared about it.
The sorceress made the charm and planted it under the mistress's door. And she technically did it right. She did what her customer asked her and didn't care that it would simply kill the mistress.
The sorceress was simply a professional who did what she was asked. But her customer would be the one who bears the responsibility.
My death would give her relief. She would be relieved to know that I had finally passed away, but it wouldn't make her happy.
The thing is that he told me it wasn't his baby, and he wasn't going to return there ever in his life.
The classic scheme, the man tells his mistress one thing and his wife an entirely different thing. And now he is mute as a fish, as every word could potentially be used against him.
I think Alexander was scared himself because he had envisioned that this could happen.
The women got so heated that they dragged all the skeletons from Alexander's wardrobe.
He lives in a separate room from Irina. He doesn't sleep with her.
This is how wives find out that nobody has slept with them for the recent 5 years.
One of us hears one thing, and the other hears something absolutely different.
The cheated women go outside, while the man runs away before it gets worse.
I never wished anything bad for you, or especially your children.
It was just this text. Your kids go to school. There's a graveyard not far from yours. Watch out, or they may not return one day.
This is my sister-in-law.
Irina means Alexander's sister. She sent Oksana the texts with threats. This means that the cheated wife has nothing to do with it.
Any dirty word or every black word will influence the children's well-being.
I never wished anything bad to anybody.
Irina, he will never enter my home anymore, I promise.
The woman in black that Oksana sees in her dreams, and that's been taking away her relatives one by one, was not a dead woman bound to her home with the charm, as we'd thought earlier. But who could she be then?
The psychics decided to return to Oksana's.
And then I paid attention to the mirror. There was something inside it.
Oh dear, my God.
Oh.
Here it is. It fell out of the mirror.
Look, she's got holes in her belly.
This is insane. The photo is indeed pierced through. But who is the woman in it, and how is she connected with the tragedies in Oksana's family?
Whose mirror is this? Is it yours?
It was here when I moved in.
Who is this? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Then I recalled her. I'd seen her in the morning during the preparation for the investigation. Her body was pierced with some kind of spears, and she kept asking me, "Release me! Release me!"
As it turned out, Oksana moved into this apartment about 15 years ago. She didn't know its previous owners, and she never took an interest in who they were or what they did.
Nobody knows who she is.
The cards show me a pregnant woman dying.
I lived here. I looked into the mirror and I saw my face. My husband is wearing epaulets. It's like he was building his career. He was probably a military man since he was wearing the epaulets. And the mirror was a gift. I was given it and told to hang it.
It turned out that 30 years ago, a family without children lived in Oksana's apartment. The woman's every pregnancy ended in tragedy.
Her babies died.
He was a morale officer at the local police office.
Well, I see why she couldn't give birth. Her husband was given a good present. The mirror with her photo pierced with needles.
Considering that the man had a high rank, the motive is obvious. Envy. Black envy.
During her last pregnancy, the woman died with the baby. After that, the neighbors feared to live in the building, as they all were having nightmares.
The woman had a few disrupted pregnancies and died painfully. After her death, she couldn't go to the other world and spent 30 years locked in the mirror. Now I see why her spirit was so aggressive. We had to perform a highly dangerous ritual in order to remove the spirit of the woman locked in the mirror and break the link between her and Oksana. Only Oksana is going with us. Since you're hypersensitive, you'll see, hear, and feel everything. Anything can happen.
It was a shock. Olena was reciting a prayer over me. I felt light warmth around my body, and then I felt a push, and Olena and I fell on the floor.
Did you feel weakness in your arms and legs?
Were they numb?
They're still trembling.
The feelings that Oksana described told me that the prayers worked. The link with the dead woman was destroyed, and she couldn't hurt Oksana anymore.
But it turned out that during the ritual, Oksana had a vision. She saw the woman who's been tormenting her in her nightmares, and she saw her face clearly. And it wasn't the apartment's ex-owner from the photo. It was a different woman.
I heard the voice. It was calling me. Oksana! Oksana! I opened my eyes and saw a white woman with fair hair. She was dressed in a long gown with a pattern of orange flowers on it.
The woman in black and the woman in orange are both the same spirit, and I had seen it that morning, on the outskirts, not far from the garages.
Why does she sometimes come dressed in black?
A spirit, by the way, can appear in the clothes in which a person was buried, or in which they were at the moment of death. In this case, the woman seemed to have been buried in black, but she died wearing orange, as Oksana described.
But who is this woman, and why is she seeking revenge on Oksana? Where can she be found, and how can she be stopped?
I've been there. I left my candle there. I'll find the place.
The psychics are going to the site where Jana Shulikova stopped earlier this morning.
Oh, here it is.
Once we arrived there, the woman that Oksana has been seeing in her dreams, and that's been saying she'd die on the 1st of November, emerged. She began talking to me. Mariana, is that you? She told me. Dad.
Is Mariana's father a murderer?
Yes.
The tragedy occurred when Mariana was little. Her father, Serhii, strangled the woman, who came to give him her shoes to repair.
He made shoes and repaired them. When the woman came to him, they had a quarrel, and he strangled her.
This is the place where she died. She has 2 children left.
I don't know her.
She's mad. She's so mad. She's furious at the man. He's guilty, but I see he's taken legal responsibility for it.
I was 13 when he was released from prison. Now he has a new family and a new daughter. I never talked to him after that.
But if Oksana's husband has already been punished, then why does the murdered woman's spirit keep seeking revenge, and not on her murderer, but on his wife and children?
You're not a murderer, but you're a witness. More so, you're an idle witness.
He came home and told me he'd murdered somebody. He was drunk, and he went to sleep immediately. I waited until the morning. What else could I do?
Why didn't you call the police?
Had Oksana called the police immediately, the woman could have probably been saved.
She was alive at that moment. She was in a coma.
It was late at night. I had a little baby. I didn't know if those things he had told me were true or not. I thought he was hallucinating because he'd been drinking heavily those days. And only when he was taken by the police did I learn the truth.
It turned out that the police only found the murderer a week into the investigation. Oksana had been silent about his crime. So the victim sees her as his accomplice.
It happened in November.
This is why she's been mentioning the date.
My husband killed her on the 1st of November because he was arrested on the 8th.
The dead woman told Oksana the date on purpose. The spirit wanted her to know of her suffering.
Now I see the problem. But how can we solve it?
Jana, can I have your candle? Look at the flame and repeat after me. In the name of the Lord.
In the name of the Lord.
The psychics and Oksana were praying for a long time, asking the supreme forces to stop the woman from the world of the dead, from going to the world of the living.
I am deeply sorry you couldn't raise your children. Please don't take revenge on me.
You're going to be fine. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for helping me.
Sometime later, after the 1st of November, Oksana called us to share the good news. Her family was finally doing great.
Thank God I'm alive and it's all over.
Do you still see the woman in black in your dreams?
No, I don't see her anymore. Thank God things got back to normal.
It is not without reason that say that inaction and indifference are sinful. Because of her idleness, the woman inflicted misery on herself and her family. A gruesome murder just a few hundred meters from her childhood home. Who took the life of a loving mother? And why did the spirit of the deceased hide the identity of the killer from the psychics? Don't miss this shocking investigation. This is Vlada Marchenko. She is 14 years old and lives in a small Ukrainian village. Her mother used to walk her to school, but for the past 3 years, her paternal grandmother, Katerina, has taken on that role.
It would be nice to tell mom or dad, like, I got top marks at school, 12 points. She would have praised me. Well done, smart girl. You'll be an excellent student. She always said that.
Vlada is an orphan. First, she lost her father.
I was only a year and a half old. He had cancer.
And 3 years ago, Vlada's mother, Svetlana Bezina, was brutally murdered. She was just in her early 30s.
According to the forensic report, the cause of Svetlana Bezina's death was a severe traumatic brain injury. Her head was crushed with a brick.
The woman was attacked while returning home from work. Her daughter still doesn't know who the murderer is. Law enforcement found no traces at the crime scene.
Vlada was with me. She arrived in the morning and said, "Grandma, I'll stay over at your place. Mum will call me in the morning and then I'll go."
But by morning, her mother was gone. Svetlana Bezina was murdered in the very center of the village, on one of the main streets. She owned a small village cafe and often worked late. That evening, after work, she headed to her parents' house, planning to spend the night there.
In this building, there was a cafe that belonged to Svetlana.
After her death, the cafe was sold. Now, It's a grocery store.
At approximately 2:30 a.m., Svetlana left the cafe and walked down this road.
The next morning, her lifeless body was discovered on the grounds of an abandoned homestead by this woman. Since no one lived there, the yard became a shortcut for villagers.
I walked up and the grass was so tall. I looked over there and saw legs lying like this.
The woman says she didn't even recognize her neighbor at first. Svetlana's face was completely covered in blood.
You couldn't recognize her face, but then I looked closer and realized she looked like Svetlana.
What did you see? Can you describe it?
There were bricks here, big chunks, but they've been cleared away since.
How was she lying? Can you show me?
She was on her back, partially undressed.
Since Svetlana's clothes were torn, the initial theory was that she had been attacked in an attempted sexual assault, but the autopsy confirmed there was no sexual contact.
Police also ruled out robbery as a motive.
Not far from where her body was found, investigators discovered Svetlana's personal belongings. Her purse, with money and credit cards, was still inside her bag.
There was no clear motive for this crime.
To this day, no one understands what really happened that night. Who killed Svetlana and why? Fear spread through the village.
Everyone was afraid to go outside. What was happening? Was there some kind of maniac roaming the village? It was pure shock and horror.
The most terrifying part is that the murder happened near residential houses, just 300 meters from Svetlana's parents' home. Yet neither they nor any of the villagers saw or heard anything suspicious that night.
It was completely quiet, peaceful.
This is a mining village and people work in shifts around the clock. There are always people going to and from work, even at 3 a.m. and midnight.
Svetlana's body lay in tall grass, so passers-by might not have noticed her. But the strange part is, why didn't she scream or call for help? In summer, people sleep with their windows open. Her cries would have woken half the village.
At 3 a.m., it was completely silent.
Svetlana was loved and respected in the village. No one wished her harm.
She was very kind. She would always greet people and smile.
I miss her hugs. I love you. You're the smartest, the most beautiful. She always said that to me.
After her mother's death, Vlada was taken in by her paternal grandmother, Katerina. Svetlana's parents' health deteriorated after the tragedy, leaving them unable to care for their granddaughter.
It hurts so much that the child is alone. Everyone else has a mum and dad. But we don't. I'm sorry.
I'm begging the psychics to help me and shed light on this whole story.
Coming to help are Ukrainian clairvoyant Olena Kurilova and psychic from Australia, Julie Mackenzie.
Hello, thank you for coming. I'm Vlada.
Katerina, I'm her grandmother.
I can feel it. Your mother is here with us.
My dear, don't cry. She's wiping away your tears like this.
I saw her in a dream. She told me, don't cry, calm down, everything is fine.
She wants you to know that she loves you very much.
I love her very much too.
I close my eyes and see a woman standing there. And then, suddenly, she turns away, stepping back. Svetlana, maybe she's afraid of something. Afraid for you.
Could Svetlana's killer still be a threat to her daughter and mother-in-law?
I can't understand. She says, think. These are the only words I heard from Vlada's mother's spirit.
We need to understand why your mother's spirit is acting so strangely.
Let's go inside the house.
I feel the energy of death here. This house feels like a crypt.
Can I take a look at the photograph? This is your father.
Yes,
your only son.
Yes, this is Vlada's father, Tolik. He passed away from cancer.
Such a beautiful couple. Happy and in love.
It's like you have a mission now. To be the mother of this child who has neither a father nor a mother.
But yes, that's exactly right.
Your son says that he and his wife are together over there, and they thank you for raising their little girl. Can I take a look at your room?
Yes.
I feel that there was another girl here, younger than you. Do you have a sister? But she is somewhere far away.
She's in another city.
You have the same mother, but the father. I see two men.
After the death of Tolik, Svetlana remarried. The couple had a daughter, Tetiana. She is now 8 years old. When their mother passed away, the sisters were separated. The older one, Vlada, stayed with her grandmother, while the younger one moved with her father to a nearby city.
Mom was very beautiful. She had the same blue eyes as I do.
The husband of the deceased is struggling to cope with his wife's death, so he refused to speak with the clairvoyants. But who killed the mother of these two girls, and why?
Some kind of cold, like from the dead. Then I remembered Julie's words, that this house feels like a crypt. What is this?
Is there a cemetery here?
Are you looking out the window?
Often.
Is Svetlana here?
A little to the side.
Every day when I wake up, I see my mother's grave from this window.
Wait, what's moving over there?
There's a woman's spirit.
Is it the mother here? I don't understand. I approach Svetlana's grave. She turns away, doesn't want to talk.
Olena, where are you going?
Is this where your son is buried?
Yes, this is our son.
I'm standing here, and again I feel work, a bar counter. People drinking, noise.
Svetlana loved her job and was quite a successful woman.
Svetlana put her whole soul into her cafe, as the locals say. She did everything herself. In the evenings, her place was always full of people.
She had a great cafe, the only place for young people to hang out.
Is someone already in prison for Svetlana's murder?
Yes.
This card, a young man. It's a young man.
The one who's in prison, the one they locked up, yes, he's younger than her.
Who is it?
Serhii.
A local resident, 26-year-old minor Serhii Drobot, was suspected of murdering Vlada's mother. Investigators checked everyone who had been at Svetlana's cafe on the night of July 28, 2012. Everyone had an alibi, except Sergei.
Moreover, as law enforcement determined that fateful night, this man was walking home on the same road as Svetlana. Soon after, he confessed to the crime himself.
During the pretrial investigation, a number of expert examinations were conducted. Based on the findings, Serhii Drobot was officially charged, and a preventive measure in the form of detention was applied.
But there's no proof whether it was him or not.
Serhii Drobot comes from a respectable family. Neither the locals nor Svetlana's relatives believe that the young man could have committed murder. They say he wasn't capable of such brutality.
We don't believe it was him.
He's so calm, polite.
I've known him for 16 years. We've lived next door to each other. I saw him grow up. I saw how he treated his mother, with respect for his parents. I don't believe he did this.
I see tears from another woman. It's his mother. To understand everything, we need to find her.
Hello.
I'm Olena Kurilova, and this is Julie.
Larissa.
Serhii.
May we come in?
Of course you can. Come in.
Vlada, please stay here, okay? We'll tell you everything. Please support her emotionally.
Our son has been accused of murder. He didn't do it. He is innocent. We want to prove his innocence.
According to the family, the law enforcement has no evidence against their son, except for a confession made under duress.
My son told me how they made him sign the confession. He said the police chief took out a gun and threatened to kill him. He said, "We'll take you outside and we'll rape you." Things that make me ashamed to even say on camera.
There was no direct evidence during the scene inspection linking Drobot to the crime.
Wait. Then explain why. On that night, I see a woman near your son?
I also saw Serhii with a group of acquaintances. They were hanging out with girls. Then the whole group seemed to get up and leave. And Serhii, well, he kind of separates from them. And no, he wasn't alone. The woman who was with Serhii that evening had a child. And I see your son flirting with her.
We interviewed local residents and found out that Serhii did see Svetlana at the cafe, but he left the place before she did. Moreover, we were able to identify the woman Serhii was with that night. She is one of the local residents. Her name is Tamila, and just as the psychic said, she does have a child.
We were near my house from 11 p.m. until almost 2:30 a.m. He asked me to be his girlfriend. I agreed because I like him.
For some reason, I can't shake the feeling that your son saw Svetlana in the final moments of her life.
The police went around, knocking on everyone's doors, asking what they had heard or seen. During one of these conversations, the son said that he saw Svetlana that night.
His mother says that, according to her son, he simply greeted Svetlana and then went home.
And a month after the murder, they arrested him.
I have serious doubts that he's the one who did it.
But I can't shake the feeling that he is involved in Vlada's mother's death. We need to go to the crime scene to finally get to the bottom of this.
Of course.
To avoid traumatizing Vlada, the psychics do not take the girl to the place where her mother was found murdered. She remains in the car with her Aunt Tetiana.
From what I see, I feel unwell. This is horrifying.
It was very dark, just like now, but it was warm.
Yes, her body was lying right here.
I tried to enter Svetlana's state and understand where she was still walking on her own and where her steps stopped. She was already dragged here.
Besides bodily injuries, drag marks were found. Most likely, the initial attack on Svetlana did not occur at the location where her body was discovered. That is, after the first blow, possibly rendering Svetlana unconscious, her body was moved here, to this property.
It feels like an attack, a strike. She was hit in the face and the back of the head.
With something hard, like a stone.
The edge of a rock. First to the back of the head, then to the face.
Right here, the skull was fractured. I feel like I'm covered in blood.
Bones crunching. Her face is completely gone.
But before that, she tried to defend herself. She fought back.
Right in this spot, she started grabbing for her bag.
She hoped that whatever was in her bag would save her. She emptied it out, but unfortunately, she couldn't fend off the attacker.
Her bag was lying here.
Most likely, a struggle broke out between Svetlana and her murderer. While she was searching in her bag for a stun gun, the attacker struck her on the head. She lost consciousness and could no longer defend herself.
She was dragged, and then at some point she was left here. They wanted to pull her inside, through those doors. But for some reason they didn't manage to. Something interfered, and there was movement. Someone went around that corner because they got scared.
I feel that before she was killed, the woman saw more than one man. There were two of them.
It's just unimaginable. Were there two killers? Who were they? And why did they attack her? If one of them was Serhii, then who was the other?
They searched our house on the evening of the murder. They took his black trousers, a burgundy shirt, and shoes. The shirt hadn't even been washed. It had only been worn once and was just lying there. They took everything to the police.
With injuries like these, the attacker's clothing and hands would have been covered in traces of the victim's blood. That means the suspect would have definitely had some traces, microscopic biological evidence, on his clothes or hands.
Serhii was wearing that exact clothing on the night of the murder, the same clothes that law enforcement took for examination.
The forensic examination determined that there were no traces of blood on Serhii's clothing. The brownish stains that typically remain on bloodied clothing even after washing were also not found.
It was very dark that night, and the men might not have seen each other. I can hear one of their voices. He's saying something to the woman and walking quickly. That was your son.
Then, who was the second man? Who is the real murderer?
Why was Svetlana killed? We thought money, but no, it wasn't money. Most likely it was jealousy. Let's go over there. I hear two male voices. There were two people, and one of them was standing right here, around the corner.
Svetlana was walking this way. She greeted your son, and for a while, they walked the same path. But there was another man standing in the darkness. He could hear them talking. He was overwhelmed with jealousy. He waited for your son to leave, and for Svetlana to turn here. Then he attacked her. She tried to defend herself, but the man struck her on the head. She collapsed, unconscious.
And who was the second man?
I can't make out his face. I only see how he carries the woman over there, away from the road.
And then right here he finished her off, hit her in the face with a brick. This is where her soul departed.
There was definitely a personal motive.
This was truly out of jealousy. How was her relationship with her husband?
When she worked at the bar, he chased her with an axe. He was capable of anything. The police were called back then. When they arrived, he put the axe down.
He was insanely jealous. He has no alibi, none.
At first, there was a theory of the husband's involvement. He had an alibi. He was in the city that evening with friends who saw him, and he returned home before midnight.
But the murder of Svetlana happened well after midnight, when her husband was already in the village. He did return home at midnight, drunk, but around 3 a.m., he went out again.
He came home. I looked at him, he was back, but Svetlana wasn't there. Well, I thought maybe she had gone to stay at her parents' house.
She is showing me her nails. She fought back. She is showing me where the murderer's skin might be.
I feel like something doesn't add up in the forensic analysis done by the police.
In the first cytological examination, traces of the victim's blood and traces of a man's blood were found under the nails of her left hand. The characteristics of that blood matched her husband's, not those of Serhii Drobot. But for some reason, the second examination did not confirm this.
She absolutely does not want the name to be revealed.
I understand.
The spirit of the mother does not want her daughters to hear the murderer's name. It would just be too painful for them. The mother is protecting her girls.
Your mother's spirit is telling you that the truth will come out, but not today. It is still too soon for you to know. Her only wish is for you to be happy.
I love her very much. I'm very grateful to you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Stay strong.
An unearthed grave and a vengeful ghost. Don't miss out. The psychics will reveal a chilling family secret, but can they stop the otherworldly killer? In this episode, Lyudmila Litovchenko from Ukraine seeks help from the psychics. She claims that her entire family is destined to die soon.
I simply don't want to bury my children.
Lyudmila is 46. She works as an accountant and has a son and a daughter. Everything in her life would have been wonderful if not for one horrifying event. Her brother Ruslan dug up their mother's grave several years ago.
He unearthed it, and you could see the coffin.
It happened the following day after their mother's funeral. She had died of a stroke. Ruslan couldn't even remember why or how he did this.
He said he didn't remember.
The medics concluded that Ruslan suffered from a nervous disorder due to extreme grief and stress, causing him to lose control. He couldn't bear the loss of the dearest person he adored, especially given that, in their mother's eyes, he was always the favorite among her 5 children.
He was always Mom's dearest boy.
Lyudmila knew that disturbing a grave sealed by a priest could invite punishment from the restless soul of a deceased person. So, she worried that her brother's act would bring calamity upon their family. And within a week, Lyudmila's fears became reality. A fire broke out in Ruslan's house, where he lived alone after a divorce. Ruslan almost burned alive and was taken to the hospital with severe burns.
They couldn't save his leg and had to amputate it. It was terrifying.
The firefighters determined that the cause of the fire was an electric heater. However, according to the family, the device was new and all the wiring in the house was in good condition. But this tragic incident was only the beginning. Soon, Ruslan's only daughter hanged herself at home. She was only 22.
I didn't believe it until I saw her.
The reason behind this horrifying act by a successful student and a future bride remains a mystery for the family.
She inspired me with her zest for life. She never gave up.
2 funerals and a horrible fire in the family within such a short period. And soon, right before Lyudmila's eyes, her own daughter almost burned alive.
It was terrifying.
Lyudmila and her 19-year-old daughter, Lisa, were cleaning up their yard. As everyone else, they were burning dry leaves in the autumn. Suddenly, without warning, Lisa fainted and fell into the flames. Panicked, her mother pulled her out of the fire. The young beauty suffered serious burns.
Here's the scar. And I've got a big one on my arm.
An ambulance arrived. They rushed her to the intensive care unit. It was agonizing to watch her suffer.
Lyudmila and her daughter are convinced that all these events in their family are connected to the disturbed grave of Lyudmila's mother.
I fear for my family.
Our project's psychics, Zhana Shulakova and Rubina Tsibulska, stepped in to help Lyudmila's family.
I worked with the photo of Lyudmila's family, and the cards told me to look for the one who's forbidden to approach the grave. The answer lies with the twins. And
a love triangle. Here's what my mirror showed me. An empty room with a coffin in the middle of it, containing a dead young woman in a wedding dress. A teenage girl leans over her, lowering a wedding veil onto her face. Then I heard the whisper of the dead girl. She said to the teenager, "You're next."
Could it be the future of Lyudmila's daughter, Lisa?
No. The girl in the coffin wasn't her. Nor was it Lisa who lowered the veil.
The next morning, the psychics are ready to set out to meet Lyudmila.
I need to buy a phone. Last night, I kept thinking about the girl in the coffin, and suddenly, I saw her spirit. She told me I should give a new phone to someone.
But how will you find out who?
I don't know it yet, but I feel it's very important.
Hello?
Hello.
We've been looking forward to meeting you. I fear for my children.
I sense cold behind Lisa. Do you feel someone near you?
Yes.
It turns out that recently, Lisa has been seeing the silhouette of a man. His terrifying gaze seems to paralyze her and take away her speech.
I saw him. He looked at me malevolently.
And you, Lyudmila, do you also sense him?
I do. What do we do?
I suggest summoning your mother's spirit and asking her.
Lyudmila, what was your mother's name?
Alla.
I see her. And I smell a fragrance. You know, something sweet.
She had a favorite perfume called Shahrazad. I can still remember it vividly.
I also felt Grandma standing between me and Mom.
She says, "I love you very much."
She will never harm your family.
She's embracing you.
Such warmth. I love you very, very much. Help us.
Her grave had been indeed disturbed. I advised Lyudmila to seek a priest's help to seal it once again.
At that moment, the spirit of Lyudmila's mother began to fade, and she showed something black, like a cross.
A black cross.
Oh God.
What's going on?
I put this ladder here myself. It was standing sound. Why did it fall?
A dead man stood before us, the same spirit that Lisa had seen.
To understand who this enraged spirit was, we needed to work in the house. He seems to be setting a trap for your children.
He'll kill anyone who wants to become a member of this family. Who shut the door?
There was no draft or wind.
There's a young woman standing there. She's dead. I saw her in my vision. An empty room with a coffin in the middle of it, containing a dead young woman in a wedding dress. She's trying to tell me something. Pass on a gift from me. She's waiting.
Who?
The spirit is gone. She probably meant the phone. I saw her in some kind of box. She lay in it like a broken doll.
The answer lies within the family. We must find the woman who practices magic.
My middle sister is said to be a witch.
Lyudmila is talking about one of her two elder sisters, Alla. The locals claim she's a witch because she supposedly reads cards and performs various rituals.
I see Alla curse you. You took her child. What does it mean?
I took her daughter from her after she'd beaten her. Bodana lived with me for a month.
It turns out that Alla has a 13-year-old daughter named Bodana. The girl doesn't know her father, and her mother, according to Lyudmila, neglects her and mercilessly beats her.
Mom said, "Don't you even call me Mom?" She beat me with a branch and an iron scoop. I cried.
How can you hate your own child like that?
Recently, Alla even sent her daughter to an orphanage, claiming it was hard for her to deal with the girl alone. On weekends, children with families are taken home, but Bodana always goes to her aunt's, as her biological mother doesn't want her. Nevertheless, it doesn't stop Alla from coming to her sister's house, creating scenes and ordering her daughter to come home immediately.
I clean the house, wash dishes, and cook, while Mom is busy with her own things, like watching TV.
Why haven't they terminated her parental rights?
She keeps claiming she'll refuse guardianship over her, but she won't do it because she receives financial support as a single mother.
This is disgusting. Does that woman practice magic on top of that?
I see this woman in the doorway whispering something.
She stuck needles in my doorway.
Needles? Alla could have tied the spirit to the needles, the one hunting Lyudmila's family.
Where does she live?
Not far from here.
Good evening.
What do you want?
We want to understand what's threatening Lyudmila's family.
What does that have to do with me?
Why did you curse your sister?
I didn't. If I got angry, I could only punch her at most.
Lyudmila says you cursed her when she took your daughter, the same daughter you constantly mistreat.
That's her problem if she says so.
We'll sort this out now. Give me your hand.
For God's sake.
These hands choked an infant, a tiny one trying to kill it.
I sensed the energy of the infant Alla tried to choke nearby. Was it her?
You simply hated her because of her father, who abandoned you.
This woman's name is Yulia, and she's 33 years old. As it turned out, she's Alla's elder daughter.
She refused from me, and her parents took me to save me.
Yulia was adopted by Alla's parents when she was a baby. Her grandparents raised her along with their younger children.
The dead girl in the wedding dress is here again. She was murdered, and she's pointing at you. She's your daughter.
Darina.
She was my sister.
It turned out that it was Alla's another, middle daughter, who had been killed 2 months ago. Darina was only 19.
She was in a large box, lying in it like a broken doll.
Her body was found locked in a suitcase.
Dear God.
It's hard to believe, but the body of the dead girl was indeed found in a suitcase thrown into a garbage container.
We were all shocked.
The locals made this gruesome discovery near one of the high-rise buildings in the nearby town. The girl lived and studied at an industrial college there and worked as a cashier at a coffee shop.
I still can't believe it.
Bodana mourned her sister more than everybody else.
She was going to come to visit me after the new year. She said we'd live together, but it didn't work out.
The forensic experts determined that poor Darina had her neck broken. She was strangled, but her cruel killer hasn't been found yet.
Darina's spirit showed me a young, dark-haired man. She said he killed her out of jealousy. The whole truth will be found in her phone. I sense that Darina communicated with her killer on social media. He's a foreigner.
The family says that Darina indeed dated a foreigner. After the investigation, we learned that the police supposedly found a taxi driver who had picked up a Middle Eastern man. He had a suitcase with him and got out not far from the building where they had found the body.
Darina was killed by a living murderer. But like other family members, she is a victim of an enraged spirit. Her spirit came because she fears for her family, especially her younger sister. She wants to protect her. She says she desperately wanted to call her younger sister, but she couldn't. Now I understand why. She didn't have a phone.
She didn't have one.
This is horrible. A child who lives in an orphanage can't even call her loved ones.
I asked Mom for a phone, even a basic one, just to stay in touch with Darina. But Mom said I didn't need it, and I didn't deserve it.
So this is who Darina asked me to buy a phone for.
Where's Bodana?
It turned out that Bodana's aunts took her to stay with them over the weekend, and so she also came to see the clairvoyants.
I see you standing over your sister's body, alone, holding a white dress.
Is this what Allah made the child do? Dress her dead sister in a wedding gown?
My goodness. Did you dress your sister in a wedding dress?
It was beyond my comprehension. I can't imagine what that girl went through. Now I understand who the mirror showed me before the investigation. My dear girl, your sister asked me to give you a gift from her. She loves you very much.
Darina knew it was my big dream.
I heard Darina's voice. She said, "My mother is only interested in herself. She has no connection to the spirit of the killer, and I'm very grateful to you for the gift to my little sister."
Thank you. Thank you too.
And the next moment, I saw the murderous spirit again, and then something terrible happened.
Wash her face with snow.
Drink, drink, drink the water.
smelling salt, smelling salt.
Fortunately, Bodana regains consciousness.
The spirit of the enraged man attacked Bodana right before everyone's eyes.
And then the spirit of the murdered Darina showed me some signs.
"12 crosses?
We have a kind of separate little cemetery within the local cemetery. There are 12 graves of our relatives there."
The answer was there.
We need to go to the cemetery. It's horrific. I've never seen anything like this before.
The younger generation of this family is simply dying out. And we couldn't even imagine who the murderous spirit would turn out to be. Whose cross is that?
The black one, my father's.
It's the same cross that the spirit of your mother showed me. She showed something black, like a cross.
It's him, the murderous spirit. Lyudmila, your father is killing his children.
I couldn't even imagine anything like that.
I tuned into the spirit of this man and saw Lyudmila's mother during a ritual. She fears her husband so much that she puts protection on the children and herself. She asked a woman who practices magic for help.
But why did Lyudmila's mother put up the protection? And what does her husband have to do with it?
Rubina, I think I know the reason. It's a love triangle.
I see. And twins.
My brother and I, we're twins.
You and Ruslan, the one who dug up your mother's grave?
Yes.
You and your brother aren't related to your father by blood.
He wasn't their biological father.
The family kept this secret for years. Lyudmila and Ruslan were the youngest of the 5 children in the family. Their mother cheated on her husband and birthed the twins from another man.
Mom fell in love with another man.
It wasn't a fleeting affair between Lyudmila's mother and her biological father. It was an incredible, unconditional love. It had started long before the woman married her husband.
He was her first love. They were going to marry, but Grandpa didn't let her do it.
Lyudmila's mother and her classmate, Oleksandr, fell in love when they were both 16. They never separated. The girl dreamed that Oleksandr would be the father of her future children.
Her parents forced her to marry another man whom she didn't love, but whom they considered a better match for their daughter.
Yes.
She lived her whole life with a man she despised.
Her heart belonged to Oleksandr.
She loved him all her life, and they even dated secretly.
The woman got tired of living a lie, and she confessed everything to her husband. His rage knew no bounds. He wanted to abandon his wife and children, believing none of them were truly his.
Then he cooled down, thought it over, and talked to his wife, and they decided not to destroy their family, and they lived for the sake of their children.
When we were around 13, Mom told us that we weren't blood related to our father.
But her husband couldn't accept her unfaithfulness. He couldn't come to terms with it, and constantly vented his anger at his wife.
Yes, he would beat Mom, but she endured it. She always told me, "Don't live with someone you don't love."
Lyudmila, I sense that your mother was so afraid of her husband that she didn't even want him to visit her grave.
She said, "Don't let him even come close to me."
Look for the one who's forbidden to approach the grave. I have a feeling of someone walking behind me.
My legs are numb. Please do something.
We must perform the ritual immediately.
We needed to summon the father's spirit, and Lyudmila was to ask him to leave the family alone.
Show yourself to us. And right before my eyes, the photograph on the father's tombstone began to develop spots. He's here, and he's ready to listen.
Don't harm my children. It's not their fault.
Go away. I'm closing the path into this world for you. The spots are vanishing. He's gone, and he won't trouble your family anymore.
Thank you so much.
It's incredible what awful consequences the mothers living with the unloved man had for the family.